Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now the name of the show is Recovery Day. The reason why this show is Recovery Day is simply because we have a recovery. Recovery is on the menu. What I mean by that is I got this flyer out because it's free in San Francisco. Recovery Day. I'm going to be a speaker there, and we're going to have food. We're going to have entertainment. Different people are going to be there. You know what I mean? And it's promoting recovery. Because recovery is something a lot of people don't know much about. Because recovery is not something that you come to a conclusion. You're always recovering. If you're in recovery, you're in recovery for life. If you're seriously in recovery. It's not a temporary situation. You have to learn how to change your way of living. If you were say if you were drinking or if you were on drugs, you have to change the people that you were involved with to people that are clean and sober. You have to go to the coffee shop instead of the bar. You have to go to, instead of being on the corner, you need to go to the library. You see, change your time. You know, you have to change your time, because if you're bored and you're not occupying changing one habit for a good habit, then you'll fall back into that cycle. And you don't want to do that. You want to stay on a positive note. What I mean by that is you want to stay positive in your activities, in your adventures. You see. And by doing that, you have to stay away from people that drink. Well, let me give you a little scenario about my situation. I had 10 years clean, right? I had 10 years clean, and then I was around people that drank. I was around people that did drugs. I was like making money, and I would prophesize off of their misfortunes, because I would buy them drinks and buy them, drugs or alcohol, so they would work for me as far as selling jewelry or whatever, and they would go out and work for me. That was wrong. See, that was wrong. That's why, by me coming to a conclusion after the 10 years that I maintained, it was, financially secure and everything worked. But I was using people that were on drugs. I wasn't helping them. I was hurting them. And by me endorsing them, promoting it, that's not good. That was a bad thing. So that's why my blessing, that's why when I crashed, what happened was my mother got sick, and she was really sick, and she was on about to die. And then I got really depressed, and then I went to the drinking. I was at the after hours, because I used to go to after hours and different things all the time. Except only this time when I went there, I grabbed a drink and some cocaine, and then boom. From that point on, I had 5 cars, I had a house, I had big jewelry. I ended up 6 months later, I was drunk dirty in front of a liquor store, on the ground. So it don't take long. You know what I mean? It's a progressive disease. The longer you're clean and the harder the fall is when you do take a drink. Some people never recover. Some people never come back from that. The older you get, the harder it is to recover. So you have to stay in recovery so you don't fall back. You understand me? Because that's what happens. People don't realize that. They think, oh, I could take a drink or two. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? It won't affect me. I'm not taking cocaine no more. Or I'm not, doing this or doing that. Anything you do, you're riding the fence. If you're drinking, but you are on drugs, with your particular choice of drugs, you're not in recovery. You're not a recovered person. Recovery is when you're clean, all the way around clean. No drugs, no drinking, no thinking thing. You got to even stay away from negative people that are endorsing that, because that's going to lead you back to the drugs and the drinking. So you got to realize that. You got to specialize in staying sober. You got to do it each and every day. It's a challenge. It's something that you don't do summertime. You do this every day. Every day you have to wake up with this on your mind. You have to realize, you understand me, that staying clean is your priority. That's number one. See, what I didn't easily do it when I was struggling, and I was putting money first, and God second, and my sobriety third. When I did that, that's why it didn't work out for me. I was happy for the 10 years I was clean, because I was making money and doing everything. But I wasn't caring about people. I was being selfish. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I ended up back, you know what I mean, back on the bottom, rock bottom, because, you know, I wasn't doing right. And now I got it right. I got the recipe. I got the recipe. Now I know exactly how it goes. And that's why, you understand me, I can carry this on the rest of my life. But it's a thing that you do one day at a time. You don't get big-headed. You stay humble. You understand me? You easy do it. Don't try to do too much because somebody else is riding in the car. Don't think, well, I got to do it because they doing it. No, don't compete with nobody but yourself. Don't be in the race with somebody else. That's another thing. Don't put no stress on yourself. You can't have no stress. You know what I'm saying? Don't have pressure on you by trying to do more than you can do. You want to be easy in your life. Easy does it because your first thing is to be content and be at peace, so nothing stress you out to where you want to go have a drink or you want a drug. You don't want nothing that's provoking that. If you're around the wrong woman, your woman, and she's drinking or doing something, that's a bad thing. That'll set you off. You see what I'm saying? You know, all these things can do that. And back in the day, when I was trying to be clean, and I had women that were drinking and drugging, I was just lucky enough not to get caught up in it through them. See, because, you know, but I had PMA on my side too, you know what I mean? Like I said, when I came out the joint, PMA was really was my number one, you know, what saved me, you know, positive mental attitude. But what I'm saying is, you have to be really true to yourself and true to the sobriety and to the recovery thing, the recovery game. You have to be true to that. What I mean by that is, you have to be really honest with yourself about the people you associate with, the people that are not encouraging you to stay strong. You don't need people that are negative, people that are haters, people that, you know, because you're not drinking, like people to say, oh, I like you better when you were drinking. You know, people like that, no, you stay away from those people. You know what I mean? Those people that talk about people, put people down, and talk about you as more fun. No, you don't want to be around those people. Because those people, they like to see you caught up in a drunk rage, and so they can think they can be better than you. They want to you know, want to put you down. So they want you to be caught in that situation. And what you do is you stay away from those people. Because those people are not your friend. They don't care about you. They're not for you. And you have to remember that. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps a lot of people down because they don't understand. In recovery, you have to really love and really get around people that are serious about their recovery. Because too, a lot of people play with this recovery thing. There's a whole lot of people that play with it. You know what I'm saying? And through the years of being clean, these 24 years, I shook a lot of people that I had to stay away from because they be half-stepping in the recovery game. There's nothing to play with. They be taking pills and doing all this other stuff, but just because they haven't hit rock bottom and they coasting along the ground, that they don't feel they have a problem. And they stand with you like they clean and sober. And all the time, they doing things on the side. But they claiming they clean and sober. No, that's not the way to be. You have to be serious, you have to be true, and you have to be honest with yourself when it comes to this recovery. This is nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people fall and fall hard. You know what I'm saying? And don't make it back. Some of them make it back, some of them never make it back. It's a thing that you have to do, that you have to be true and you have to be strong, and you have to be seriously ready to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have to be ready to deal with it. Recovery. You have to be ready to deal with recovery. It's a lifetime thing. It's not nothing you play with. You don't have step with recovery. When you're talking about recovery and you enter recovery, a lot of people you see, they play with it. You know, I know somebody, I'm not going to say no names or nothing, but you know, he's a person I know, and I got caught up trying to help them. And they took it, they played with it. They took it like they've been in recovery 4 or 5 different times. You make recovery as an excuse. You in recovery, you understand me? And then you go to the program 2 or 3. If you go to the program more than once, if you go to the program 3 or 4 times, you ain't serious about your recovery. You're doing it because you're trying to satisfy somebody else or what somebody else wants you to do. You got to do this for yourself. If you don't do it for yourself, it ain't going to come for nobody else. And that's another thing. I do not waste my time with people that be half-stepping when it comes to this recovery thing. When they playing with it, I get away from it because if they can't help themselves, if they don't want to help for themselves, they're going to be dragging along back and forth their whole life. They get to be 60 years old and they still playing with their sobriety. They still playing with it. man, hey, they got a problem, and I'm not going to make it my problem. I'm going to stay out of their way. I'm not going to make it my problem. See, I'm going to be peace of mind and happiness with myself and living my life. I got a queen, you understand me? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to give her a shout out because I'm wearing her favorite color today. Fuchsia is her color. You understand me? And I'm wearing that today, you understand me? You know what I mean? And this is my queen, Beverly, you did. And she accommodates me. We correlate, you understand me? And we dress as we're heart attached. We dress alike, you understand me? We do things right because we're positive. We think along the same lines. We encourage one another. We don't discourage each other. We promote health, love, and happiness. And these are the things we do. And you got to be able to find someone that you can get along with that pulls you up, don't pull you down. You get with somebody and they dragging you down, they complaining, they fussing, they arguing, and you're in a toxic relationship, it ain't going to help if you're trying to be clean. Now, if you're dirty and you're staying there and you're not, and you're drinking and drugs, does not bring you to the bottom where you can maintain your life and be satisfied, both of you are still happy, and hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. You don't need help. You do what you do because it's working for you. But traditionally, I would not recommend nobody to be in that type of relationship because that is not a good relationship. I'm not saying it don't work, but it doesn't work for me or somebody that's trying to get ahead and promote peace of mind and happiness and a positive mental attitude. See, you got to be able to deal with that. You got to be able to really stand up and represent, being a true, gentleman and a scholar and really be good and represent yourself. That's why I dress. You ain't got to dress good, but you got to have a good attitude. You have to treat people right. You understand what I'm saying? That's what you have to do. Whatever you do, do it and do it because you like to do it. Be your best self. Don't try to keep up with nobody else because that's a bad thing too. When you do things because somebody else doing it. No, you do for you. You understand me? Because that's a bad thing to do. Is try to keep up with somebody else. Find who you are and be your best self. Don't try to follow nobody else's lead. And that's why I don't ever promote doing what I do. I just promote you to be positive and do the right thing for yourself, what you like to do. You see? That's why I said, but if you're on drugs and you're drinking and you're wearing dirty clothes, you know you're not happy. The first thing you do is you go to an AA or NA and get some help. That's the first thing you do. And the reason why I said you go to those organizations, because you need assistance in your help to initially know how to deal with somebody. Because see, when you first make that step, you have to have a group of people to give you some strong encouragement. You need that. You need that right at that time. Because at the beginning is when it's the hardest. You have to develop all new habits. You have to develop new habits and way of life. Years in it, then you can deal with it. But the first year or so, you don't need to be dealing with no negativity. You need to be around people that are well seasoned in the sobriety game so they can teach you how they're doing and get the ones that are serious, not the ones that are chipping. The ones that are serious. Get you a sponsor and get someone that you know has been successful in their sobriety for some length of time. And they will help you. They will help you along the way. You know what I mean? They will love to help you because they know what they went through. Get those kind of people. You know what I mean? But you have to be serious. Don't play with it. You know what I mean? Because so many people go in the AA and NA and they be in back and forth. No, it's okay. I'm like this. I'm not dealing with you. If you go back and forth like that, I'm not wasting my time with you. I know that's not right to think, but I have to think about me. I'm not going to be dragged around people that are half-stepping because that whole negativity is not on my menu. You got people that will help you though, but I'm just saying I'm not the one. And I'm telling you to go where you can get help. Go to NA, and you got people that get kicks out of helping other people. That's what they get their juice from helping other people. You see, I'm not that type of person. I talk about it on a show. I talk about it at different places. But when I'm out of this program, other than going to the show Friday, other than that, I'm not really understanding. You have time to be around people that are having problems. I got friends that do have problems that be around there. I know a guy that he's clean and sober, and he claims he did it on his own, and he doesn't rely upon. He discourages people about going to programs and all that. He just made his mind up after he got beat down one night, He got beat down so bad it scared him straight. And then after that, he just stopped drinking. And he's been clean for 27 years. That's okay. For him, that was his way. See? Me, I want to have PMA. I got to stay positive. I had to reinforce the whole, changing my whole attitude, my whole dealing with people. He still deals with those people that are nothing, that are drinking and homeless. He still deals with those people. He gives them money, he goes around them and talks to them and gives them words of encouragement and all that. He does that. Me, I'm not going to do it. But I talk with him and I sit around and I talk to them too. It's okay. I'm not against that. But I'm not going to be around people that are drunk and being discouraging and doing all that. That type of stuff is not good. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be around that environment. You know, and if you're on the corner drinking, I'm not going to do nothing. I may give you $1 and keep on going. I'm not going to stop not do that because I know how it was when I was in my disease. You understand what I'm saying? You know, $1 or so would help me along the way because you know you need, until you get right, you're just like anyone else. You know what I mean? You may not accept the help and it'll be like this. You know what I'm saying? See, like me, for instance, I got 34 years actually clean. My body, my health-wise, I have 34 years because the 10 I had in my body, my liver and everything is clean. It's 30-something years clean because that was half of my life of being clean. I'm 69. And I was clean 34 years. That's half of my life. So that's why I was saved by not drinking and staying away from the drugs and drinking for 34 years. That's how you look at it like that. But in recovery, when you slip, when you drink, when you do a drug, one time, if you do it and go back, whether you stay 6 months or one day, and you get back in the race recovery game, you lost that whole 10 years, whatever you had. In that frame of mind, that's how you lost it. But actually, you haven't lost it. You haven't lost it. That time you built up, the confidence, the structure, the living clean and sober, that's still with you. They just technically, in recovery, they don't accept it. But it is a part of your life. So don't you never think that you did not have those many years clean. You just don't have them consecutively, so they don't really count. You understand me? In the recovery game. But that's why I don't really claim but the 24 that I have straight solid. But I know in my body and in my mind I got 34, you understand? You know what I mean? Mine is 6 months. But see, I don't ever say nothing about it because, in the recovery game they don't count that. But I'm just letting you know health-wise it does count. You know what I'm saying? And that's why your liver and everybody else realizes that. They know. You know what I mean? In your body knows what you have. So that's why I say that you have to, you judge and you measure your successes with what you do for yourself. You can't never judge or measure your successes with the next person that's in recovery. You know what I mean? You have to work on yourself because you didn't start at the same gate. You know what I mean? And you haven't went through the same problems. I had the same struggles. Like me, I started drinking when I was 16, 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? My drinking with my father, it was acceptable with my father, was alcoholic. So I drank with him and did all that. So it was like it was in the family. You know what I mean? We all drank, we drank. And then my nephew, we drank. We hung out and drank, so it was acceptable, right? So they didn't trip off of it. So then when I got to be 18, 19, and 20, I steady was drinking. I drank every day then. I drank all the time. And then when I got, when you go to jail, you come out, you think you're not going to drink. I said to myself, I wasn't going to drink. I was going to do right. And then you get caught up in the cycle. I didn't understand being clean, what it meant, or nothing about it, And then that was when I was in 77 when I first tried to drink. Tried to stop drinking, You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't handle that because when I came out, I had responsibility and different things. Pressure, was on. And so I got right back into the same things I did before. Same people, same things, same everything. And right back to the drinking. Driving in the car, drinking and driving. All the same thing. Didn't change nothing. Got back into the old habits. You know what I mean? And then in the 80s, up in the 80s when I stopped, it was at that time that I realized what I had to do to stay drug-free and not drink. But at that time, I still was hustling. I still was, messing with the people in the game, in the fast life, that were into drugs and drinking. And that's where I realized, after I lost that 10 years, I got to give myself credit because I was really sharp and really manipulative and I did things. And I had made a lot of money. You understand me? But I found out that money's not everything. And you have to look at your sobriety as number one. God first, your sobriety second. Because God's going to help you get there. So you have to realize that. You have to look at your sobriety as the first thing you do. You don't let nothing interfere with that. You don't let money, or none of that stuff interfere with your you know what I mean, stressing or woman or nothing. You don't let nothing interfere with your sobriety. Let that be number one. As long as your sobriety is number one, you will not have that problem. You will not have to worry, because clean and sober, it will become a way of life with you. But you have to get around the right people. You have to go to AA at least 90 days, every single day. Every day you go around there and get reinforcement. Every day. Stick with it, you understand me? And get around those people that are being clean and sober. You don't have to leave the neighborhood. You don't have to leave the neighborhood. A lot of people say, well, I'm in that neighborhood, there's drugs and drinking every time I step out the door. No. There's an AA right in that middle of that neighborhood. And there's people in that neighborhood that overcame drinking and drugs. Because those are the ones that'll help you more, the ones that's been through it, than the ones that have never really had a problem with drinking. You go out, move out to the suburbs and say, well, I'm moving out there. People are drinking and drugging just as much, but they hide it and keep it under control to where they maintain, because they have the money, so they don't hit rock bottom fast, because they have the money, the resources. And you don't even know they have a problem, because they know how to keep it above. Some people keep it like that, but they're not happy. The next thing you know, they committed suicide. Or they were so stressed out and depressed because they didn't have nobody to talk to. See, so you don't want to judge nothing with nobody else of how you're feeling and what you're doing. That's why you go to AA and NA, because you also talk about your problems. You get good therapy there, because you talk to people that are there that can help you. You understand me? When you're in a situation. So when you're struggling, you make sure you do the first 90 days, and you will get adapted to that, because you will need it. You need to build strength. You understand? You need to build strength and ammunition against the drugs and drinking. You need to build ammunition. So before you go out there, less meetings. When you go out there, don't get all cocky, all confident, high-headed, thinking, oh, I got 2 days, I got a week, I got a month. Oh, I'm this, I got all this time clean. You could fall at any given time. You could have 50 years clean and fall. You can have 1 day and you can fall. So you never take it for granted. You never take your sobriety, your recovery for granted. Never. Because I've seen them all come and go. That's why I never share, I never talk, I never brag. I always stay humble when it comes to my drinking and drugs. You never hear me bragging about how many years I got clean and all this and all that, because it's not necessary. Because there's a man over here that's got a money. You bragging about you got 24 years, that's not necessary. That man, that's too far for that man to see. Let that man see 1 day at a time. That's all he needs to see. He don't need to see your long journey. Your journey didn't come overnight. Your journey came with a lot of struggles and a lot of, you built up a strong resistance. You built up a strong, you understand me, ammunition base, to where when you deal with the people, you're dealing with them, you understand me, with strength and determination. See, and a lot of people, they're not walking your walk. So you don't even, you don't brag. You be humble and you just try to help them, give them some words of advice the best you can. You understand me? On that 1 day at a time. That's the best you can give them, is let them know that 1 day. If you say sober for 1 day, that's easy to do. And then after you get months in, then it gets easier, because you already develop new habits. Instead of going to the bar, you're going to the library. Instead of going to the bus stop. Because that's the main killer. I'm going to tell you, the main killer is when you don't have time, when you get bored and you're not doing nothing. You have to occupy your time. Either you go to the gym, you go to the library, you do positive things to fulfill the empty hours that you had when you drank. Think about all the hours you waste drinking, and the whole day you waste when you were drinking and on drugs. You spent all your time chasing and drinking and chasing for that one high that you got. You spent almost all day just for that one high. If you think about it, you were chasing a high all that day. So just think about if you switch the high around and be pleasant and enjoy the day from the beginning. You got to learn how to enjoy your day and your time from the beginning. You have to love life. You have to learn how to love life. You have to get a whole philosophy on life. You see, and it's easy does it. PMA, positive mental attitude. You have to change your attitude. That's why you have to show love, self-love. You have to care for yourself. See, it's a whole lot of things. That's why I say go to NA and AA and get all the feedback and all the, to hear all the stories and these people that overcome it, and then you figure the best way for you to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use your own recipe. You see, nobody can tell you actually how to be sober. You know what I mean? All they can do is make suggestions. You have to do what you like to do. Say you like to paint. Say you're an artist. Get into doing something positive that you like to do, and that'll keep your mind off of drugs and drinking, because you have something you like to do, and you never really did it when you were clean and sober, so it's difficult. But it's easy because you love it, so you're going to like it. You see? You know what I mean? Even new activities you might want to get indulged in. New things that's positive. You just have to make sure that's what comes important. Don't be worried about money, because if you worry about money, that's a spring to spring you to getting high. Don't even let money be a factor. Be as simple as you can. You live your life as simple as you can. If you go to work, get a job, go to work. But don't go to work. Do your 8 hours at work. Come back, go to the gym, or go do something positive. Make sure you fill your day with positiveness. That whole day. If you can do it one day, you can do it 2 days. You do it like that. Don't bite off no more than that one day. Do that one day at a time, and it'll change your mind on how you feel about things. You see? You know what I mean? That's all you can do is do it one day at a time. And when you do one day at a time, then you think to yourself, wow, that was easy. I remember when I used to do it on my own without even going to a program. I would get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I would stop for a few days, but then I'd run around back to the people, or I'd see one of my partners in the street. He'd have a drink, and next thing you know, I'd hit that drink and it'd be all over it, because you didn't change your surroundings and your environment. People, places, and things, you have to change that. You see? And when you change that, then you will see that it's very, very easy to be a better person, to be one, to grow, and you feel better because you're not comparing yourself to nobody else. And you don't care what they think. You don't care how you look. You can have some Goodwill clothes on, man. Be real simple. You're trying to stay sober, man. That's your main objective. All these other things, dressing up and all that, man, that all comes with time if that's what you want to do. But don't go too fast to do too much too quick. You got to be simple. Make it simple. Make your life as simple as you can from the beginning. When you're trying to clean and get clean and sober, you do that. You live a simple life. Easy does it. Remember that, easy does it. That's what they tell you. And that really means a lot, because that's what got me on the right track. When I realized easy does it was what it was. Because I was always trying to do too much, trying to make up for lost time, trying to get more than, trying to have a lot of material. But no, I don't even have a car now by choice. You understand? Because I live in a town where it's convenient to get around, and I be practical about it. Because when I had 5 cars, all that was just strain and stress. But I did it because I was trying to be bigger and better than the next person. So I could claim that, oh, I got this, I got that, and it wasn't really necessary. So now I don't even do that. I don't do nothing that's stressful. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people getting dressed and sharp would be stressful to them, so you don't do it. You do what's simple. And as you get cleaner, the more time you put in being clean, the more you'll feel better about yourself, and the more you want to do for yourself. But at the point you're in now, where you're just getting clean, or say you're just trying to make the move, you're trying to make the initiative move to go to NA or AA, to make that first step, to go, well, you got to get around people that's going to encourage you to stay strong and stay straight. That's why you need the imperative to go to NA or AA right away. You know what I mean? Don't be putting it off, because the minute you put it off, that day that you didn't take that drink, that you felt bad, or you came out of a blackout, or you came out of something, and you ended up in the hospital, and then you came back and you said, wow, you don't want to drink no more, but you can't stop because you got the DTs. You tell them right there, take me to a program where I can get some help. And they'll take you along the way. They'll lead you the way. All you got to do is want the help. They will help you. And then you make your mind up to want to stay clean. You got to do it your way. But you got to figure the way. Because people are there to help you, understand me? There's plenty of people here to help you. People that are paid to help you. People that are counselors. People that are social workers. Different people will help you. If you want to get clean, you can get clean. That's why it's a poor excuse when people try to say they're a victim. They can't get clean because of this or because of that. They blame circumstances on this situation, and they shouldn't do that. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to close my show out because the name of the show is Recovery Day, and I want you to realize recovery is an oncoming process. It's not nothing that you take for granted. It's an oncoming, it's a lifetime thing. You do this your whole life. You don't do this. This is not temporarily, this is permanently. So if you're serious about your recovery, you got to realize you got to set your whole life on recovery. You got to change your whole situation. The people you know that used to drink and do drugs, you got to keep a distance from them. You got to say hi and goodbye and keep on stepping. Because all they're going to do is pull you back into what they're doing. And that's where hate and jealousy really come in. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the International Rich Fashion Experience signing out. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Fashion Experience Recovery Day.